Welcome back, everyone, to the Creepypasta story time. Today we indulge in yet another terrifying tale. But this one is a classic. I've retrieved it from the vaults. The vaults. That works. Was the most terrifying entity in evil Sonic the Hedgehog. Today I bring you the tale of Sonic.exe. I'm a total Sonic the Hedgehog fan, much like everyone else. That I've never met someone that never met someone who didn't hate Sonic. I like the newer games, but I don't mind playing the classics. I don't think I've ever played glitchy or hacked games before as perfect grammar, though I don't think I want to play any after the experience that I had. Started on a nice Sunday afternoon. I was playing Sonic Unleashed. I liked how you get to explore the towns in it. Until I noticed, out of my peripheral vision, I turned my head around like an owl, that the mailman had arrived and put something in my mailbox as usual. Sometimes the mailman just show up to my house, pee on my yard. I don't know why. But, I don't know. Maybe it's like a dog thing. Trying to be friendly, trying to clean my yard. I had to pry myself to pausing Sonic Unleashed to go see what I got in the mail. But the only thing inside was a CD case for computers. As opposed to the CD case for, notes. Wait, fuck, this one had a note in it. Oh god, my world's falling apart. So I took it inside. I looked at the note first and realized that it was from my dear friend Kyle. Let's just call him that. Kyle's in witness protection. You don't get to know his real name. I hadn't heard from him in 2 weeks. I know that because I recognized his handwriting, though what was weird, not about it, what was weird was how it looked. It looked badly written, scratchy, and somewhat difficult to read, as if Kyle was having a hard time writing it down. Did it in a hurry. This is what he wrote. Tom, I can't take it anymore. I had to get rid of this thing somehow before it was too late, and I was hoping you'd do it for me. I cannot do it. He's after me, and if you don't destroy the CD, he'll come after you too. He's too fast for me. Please, Tom, destroy this godforsaken disc before he comes after you too. It's too late for me. I swore I already said that. I'm gonna repeat myself. Destroy the goddamn disc, and it'll destroy him, I think. This won't become contradicted at any future point. But do it quickly, otherwise he'll catch you. Don't even play the game. That's what he wants. Just destroy it. Please. Kyle. Well, that was weird. I mean, even though Kyle is my best friend, I haven't seen him in 2 whole weeks. I did do what he asked me. 'Cause I'm an asshole. I think that's just a simple gaming disc for gaming. Would do anything bad to him. I mean, it's just a video game that you play and have fun, right? Like, video games can't put scary plushies in your room. Well, come to find out, boy was I wrong. Anyways, I looked at the disc and it looked like any other ordinary computer CDR disc, except it had black marker on it. 'Cause, what? Who writes on CDs? What the hell's wrong with this person? But they had written Sonic.exe on it. It was much unlike Kyle's handwriting, meaning that he must have gotten it from somewhere else, like a pawn shop or eBay. 'Cause I knew Kyle, he didn't write on his discs like a maniac. When I saw Sonic on the writing of the CD, I was actually excited to play it 'cause I'm a big Sonic fan. I don't know why I wouldn't assume it would just be like Sonic 1 or something. Sonic.exe, very descriptive title. But I was, big Sonic fan. Didn't already tell you that, guys. I like Sonic. I hope that's been demonstrated enough. I went up to my room and turned on my computer, and I put the disc and installed the game. Title screen when the title screen popped up, I noticed that it was the first Sonic game, and I was like, awesome! Because, like I said earlier, I liked the classics. No, I didn't say I preferred their newer games. No, shut up. I said I liked the classics. First thing that I noticed was at a place, when I pressed start, there was a split second when I saw the title image turning into something much different. Yeah, that's wording that makes sense. Something that I consider horrifying before cutting to black. I remember what the image looked like at that split second before the game cut to black. Photographic memory. The sky had darkened. The title emblem was rusted and ruined. The Sega 1999 was now instead Sega 666. The water had turned red, like blood, but hyper-realistic. Ooh, he got all three in the same sentence. Combo. But the freakiest thing in that split-second frame was Sonic. His eyes were pitch black and bleeding, with two glowing red dots staring right at me. He filed his fingers, and they're bleeding. No, not gotten that part yet. His smile had stretched wider up to the edge of his face. I was rather disturbed about that image when I saw it, even though I didn't see it. It was like half a second, but I was like, no graphics, just a glitch. And I forgot about it. After it cut to black, it stayed like that for about 10 seconds or so. I didn't turn the game off, restart my computer, do anything like that. When it just turned black for 10 seconds, I just stared into space like I usually do. And then another weird thing happened. Doing a really great take today. The save file from Sonic the Hedgehog 3 popped up. I was like, what the fuck? What's this doing in the first Sonic game? Anyway, then no period, that was, probably wouldn't be capitalized then. Then I noticed something off. That would be, that's not noticed. This is in past tense. The background was the dark sky in the bed Stardust Speedway level from Sonic CD. And there's only 3 save files. The music was that creepy Caverns Winter music from Earthbound, but it was extended. It seemed to have been in reverse. Yeah, I'll set the mood up with Caverns Winter Earthbound. Yeah, I can say words today. Here we go. Now it's scary. Oh, fuck it, I'm listening to reverse. Okay, well, I don't care. And the image for the save file, when you see a preview level on, it's just red static for all 3 files. Now, I'm going to stop the story right here. When you play the game, that is the loaded shit. Wait. He just conflicts something in the very next paragraph. Whatever. What freaked me out more was the character select, even though it was just red static for all 3 files. I thought it was picking red static, but instead it only had Tails, Knuckles, and Dr. Robotnik. Now I was sure there was something up. I mean, how can you play as Robotnik in a classic Sonic game, for crying out loud? That's when I realized that this wasn't a glitchy game. It was a hatched game. Yeah, you'd notice that when they put a save select into Sonic 1. Yeah, it definitely looked hacked. It was really creepy. But as a smart gamer, I wasn't scared. Or at least I tried not to be. I told myself that it was just a hack game. And there's nothing wrong with that. Yeah. Earthbound music. Red files. Scary. Anyway, shaking off the creeped out feeling, I picked file 1 and chose Tails when I selected. The got started. The game froze for about 5 seconds. Never tried to restart it then either. Heard a creepy pixelated laugh that sounded a lot like that Heffe guy from Final Fantasy before cutting to black. The screen stayed black for about 10 seconds or more. I started bringing out my stopwatch at this point. I figured it would be kind of boring. I really need these seconds. Then it showed the typical level title thing, except the simplistic shades were different shades of red, and the text showed only Hell Act 1. The screen faded in, and the level title vanished, revealing Tails in the Green Hill Zone from Sonic 1. The music was different, though. It sounded like a peaceful melody in reverse. Anyways, I started playing and had Tails started running like you would in any of the classic Sonic games. What was odd was that as Tails was running along the level, there was nothing but flat ground and a few trees for 5 minutes. The stopwatch is really coming in handy now. That's when the peaceful music started lower down to slow, deep tones, very slowly, slow, as I kept going. I suddenly saw something and decided to stop my thrilling gameplay of holding right for 5 minutes. Let's see. It was one of the small animals lying on the ground, dead, bleeding. That's when the music started to slow down. This person can program things really well. Tails had a shocked and saddened look upon his face that I never saw him have before. So I had to move along, and he kept that worried look on his face. As he kept moving, I saw more dead animals as Tails moved past them, looking more and more worried as the music lowers and he moves past more dead animals. Yeah, I was shocked to see how they all died. I was gonna comment on this fucking story's making my head spin because I'm just reading in his his white text on a black background, and it's fucking moving and more, and dead animals and moving. This is a really long run-on sentence. But anyways, they look like someone killed them in rather gruesome ways. A squirrel was hanged on a tree with what it appeared to be his entrails hanging out. You already said he was hanged. A bunny had all 4 of his limbs torn on. A duck had his eyes gouged out, his throat slit. His throat slit. I felt sick to my stomach when I saw this massacre, and apparently so did Tails. He actually he had a specific throw-up graphic. But whatever. Also, these aren't real, dude. You're staring at dead pixels in the game. Not even the real kind of dead pixels. After a few more seconds, there were no more dead animals, and the music seemed to stop. I still kept Tails to continue. After a minute passed, after the music stopped, Tails was running up a hill, and then he stopped. It wasn't until I saw why. Yeah, that means something. Sonic was there on the other side of the screen with his back against Tails with his eyes closed. Tails looked happy to see Sonic, but then his smile faltered. I also noticed that Sonic wasn't responding to him, if not acting as if he's totally oblivious to Tails' presence. Now, me as an owl, I would have noticed Tails. I would have said, "Oh, it's my good buddy Tails from Sonic. It was real." Tails walked slowly towards Sonic, and I noticed I wasn't even moving my keyboard to make him move, so this had to be a cutscene. I don't get to play this game anymore. I walked out of the room and I did something else. I go back to playing Sonic Unleashed. Unfortunately, he did not go back to playing Sonic Unleashed. Although, admittedly, that's about an equivocal experience. Suddenly, I began to have a growing feel of dread. The story has great grammatical decisions. As Tails walked closer to Sonic to get his attention, I felt that Tails was in danger and something bad was going to happen. Not Tails! I heard faint static growing louder as Tails was butt inches away from Sonic and stopped and stuck his hand out to touch him. That foreboding feeling in my gut was growing stronger, and I felt the urge to yell on my computer monitor to get Tails away from Sonic. As static grew louder, suddenly, a split second, I saw something. Eyes open. They were black with those glowing red dots, just like the title image. Thought there wasn't a smile. It's supposed to be though. Come on, man. Proofreaders get least. He's so close. He's so close. You have to keep 100% authenticity. When that happened, no comma, the screen turned black and the static sound was off. They flipped the lever to make it turn off. Stayed there for about... Stayed black for about 7 seconds, and then white text appeared for me, a message saying, "Hello, do you want to play with me?" Guys, I just got distracted by the fact they added voice acting to Sonic.exe, and the game is now 0% scary. Before it was like 5, maybe 10% scary. It's like, oh, it's just it's just music. Nope, now it's like, ooh, I'm evil Sonic. At this point, I was creeped out. I didn't want to continue the game, but my curiosity got the better of me when I was taken to a different level, with the title now saying Hide and Seek. This time I was in the Angel Island level from Sonic 3 and looked like everything was on fire. Assuming Angel Island was the first level of that game, it already was set all on fire. Tails looked at me as though he was scared out of his wits this time. He actually looked at me and made frantic gestures to me as if he wanted me to get in this area he was in as fast as possible. I was starting to get freaked out by this. I mean, Tails was actually breaking the fourth wall. He turned to the camera. No game character would do that. Trying to tell me to get him out of there. So I pressed down on the arrow key as hard as I could, because that makes him go faster. Made him run. A pixelated version of that creepy theme when you meet Shadow at the Ark of the as Robotic Sonic Adventure 2 was playing as the man Tails treks through this desolate forest, trying to help him escape from whatever he's trying to run from. I don't know why I'm annotating all these music choices, but whatever. Suddenly I heard that creepy laugh again, that awful Kefka laugh. That bastard! Right after 10 seconds have passed. Trusty stopwatch. As I let Tails run through the forest, and then I started seeing flashes of Sonic pop everywhere on screen. Again, black old red old eyes. That music didn't change. That's the suspenseful drowning jingle. As I see Tails behind Sonic behind Tails, slowly gaining on him, flying. Sonic wasn't flying; he was actually flying. His flying pose, his sprite was making. The flying pose his sprite was making looked very similar to Metal Sonic's flying pose in Sonic CD, except that was just Sonic and he had the black or red eyes again. Only this time he had the most deranged grin on his face. He looked as though he was enjoying the torment he was giving the poor little fox as he gained on him. Suddenly, when Tails tripped, that doesn't happen in the game, also another cutscene, the music stopped and Sonic vanished. Tails laid there and started crying for 15 seconds. The scene was rather upsetting to watch, and I kind of teared up myself. I'm a bitch. But then Sonic appeared right in front of Tails. Tails looked up in horror. Blood started to come down those blackened eyes of Sonic as a grin slowly grew from his face as he looked down at the horrified fox. I could do nothing but watch, or get up out of my chair, or turn the game off, or close my eyes, or turn around. Just in a split second, Sonic lunged at Tails right before the screen went black. There was a loud screeching noise that only lasted 5 seconds. The text returned this time. The text returned, only this time it said, "You're too slow. Want to try again?" And then that god-awful laugh came with it. I was so shocked by what had happened. Did Sonic murder Tails? No, he couldn't have. Him and Tails are supposed to be best friends, right? As it says he in the story. Nice grammar. Why did Sonic do that to him? He just did him dirty. I shook the shock off as it was brought back to the character select screen. The save file that had Tails was different. Tails was no longer the box itself. Oh, right. Okay, he's talking about the box below it. Tails was no longer in the box, but in the TV screen. No longer the box itself, but in the TV screen itself. Sorry, I just like cutting this person's grammatical errors. Which was flickering with that red static. Tails' expression had scared me. His eyes were black and bleeding. Very common and stable. His orange fur had gone black. An expression of anguish on his face. Trying to ignore it, I picked Knuckles next. That was a comma, and he capitalized it. The laugh came again, and the screen cut to blacks and stayed there for another 10 seconds. This time the level was called You Can't Run. I was really freaked out by now. I couldn't tell if this was a glitch or hack or some kind of sick, twisted joke. Or anything, really. It could even be all three. But despite my fear of what happened next, I kept playing. Could have turned the game off, but alrighty. The next level looked much different. It had the background of Scrap Zone and Brain Zone, but the sky background looked like the main menu. It had the dark reddish cloudy sky. But it was the music that creeped me out the most. It sounded like Geiger's theme right after you beat Pokey in Earthbound. So Geiger's theme. I also noticed that Knuckles looked afraid, just like Tails did, though not as much. Or rather, he looked a little unnerved. He broke the fourth wall just like Tails, looked like as if he wasn't sure about what was going on. But I made a move anyway. He ran down the straight pathway in this dark level, and as he did, he started to flicker red static a couple of times, and then that maddening laugh came again. And then after a few seconds of running, I noticed several blood stains on the metallic ground. I felt a growing sense of fear again, thinking something horrible was going to happen to Knuckles. I would have figured that out. My skills at pattern recognition weren't very great. He looked nauseating walking down this blood-stained road, but I still kept him going. Now we can get a little water. Suddenly, as Knuckles ran, Sonic appeared in front of him with those black and red eyes. Okay, you gonna repeat it every time? And then red static appeared again when the static vanished, showing nothing but black screen, with text saying, Found you. I was now scared. Sonic found Knuckles already? What was going on? Anyways, some more red static and I was back to the level. Knuckles looked like he was panicking. Sonic was nowhere to be found, and this time was that high-pitched squealing from Silent Hill 1's final boss was playing. Nice. Good grammar. Again, very specific music choice. Really, it's kind of like he just picked, a scary song out of a hat. Just 2 Earthbounds and a Silent Hill song. Some kind of boss battle with Sonic. I hope to God it wasn't. Honestly. Suddenly Sonic appeared. Fuck, it's a boss battle. Suddenly Sonic appeared right before Knuckles in what appeared to be pixelated black smoke. I made Knuckles turn and then punch Sonic, but Sonic vanished in the smoke again. Before I could even land a hit. Also, so I hear a piece of black pixelated smoke again. Because brief writing, what the fuck is that? That terrible laugh went off again. Then Sonic appeared behind Knuckles again, and I punched him again, and he vanished again, and he laughed again. Abbreviation. Knuckles was panicking even more, and even I felt like I was going crazy. Sonic was practically playing with us. He was playing a sick, twisted little mind game with me and Knuckles. When I learned to walk a different direction and punch. Another cutscene play as Knuckles fell to his feet and clutched his head, sobbing. I felt his agony. Sonic was actually driving us both crazy. And then in a split second, Sonic lunged and Knuckles, and the screen went black with another sort of screeching noise that lasted for at least 3 seconds. Another text message appeared. So many souls to play with, so little time. Wouldn't you agree? What the hell? Just what is going on? I started to think Sonic was actually trying to talk to me through the game, but I was too scared to think that. Yeah, apparently while writing the story, I was too scared to finish any of your thoughts because none of this is making a lot of sense. I was brought back to the main menu, and this time a second file box and Knuckles to the TV screen. His red fur had darkish turquoise gray, his dreadlocks were dripping with blood, and his eyes were black and bleeding like everyone else. I was wondering if they would come up with a different character design, but instead it seemed all we had was red, black, and gray. There's not a lot of color palettes on offer from this game. He also had a look of sadness on his face. I began to think those are the actual fake characters trapped in those TV screens on the save files, but I couldn't believe it. I didn't want to believe it. So I shut the game off and took a break. Woo! Story's over, guys. He shut the game off. Wait, wait, hold on. What the fuck? This doesn't make any sense. So, he turns the game off. And he's seen the game. Like, he understands the game's fuck. And he got a letter from his friend saying, beat the fuck out of the game. He didn't just destroy it right then. Like, even if you... I mean, even if like it wouldn't come out of the computer or whatever the hell, just destroy the computer. It's a ghoul game. God. I took a nap. Wish I hadn't. Because then I started to have the most disturbing nightmare. I was in pitch black darkness, though it was under this light given off a lamp that hung high above my head. I could hear the cries of Knuckles and Tails nearby. They're saying stuff like, help us, and why did you give us to him, and run away before he gets you too. Their cries just died out, as then I heard Sonic laugh, his laugh. It sounded like the same laugh he's been using the entire game. You're a lot fun to play. You're a lot fun to play with, kid. Just like your friend Kyle, but he didn't last long. I was scared, and I was looking around for the source of the voice. Won't be long now till you join him and all my other friends. I saw him walking toward me, flickering in and out in several directions. You can't run, kid. You're my world now, just like the others. When he grabbed me and I saw his bleeding black and red-eyed, grinning face, I woke up with a fright. I then made the reasonable assumption that I had to destroy the game. There was no other option. After a couple hours, I decided to continue playing the game. You know what? I think I should become a fucking creepypasta ghost. Because it's the easiest job ever. Just people make all the worst decisions. And then you get to just kill them. I'd kill them for being that fucking stupid. If I was a ghost and I had a knack to haunt, you know, I had a knack to get off of, and I was possessing a TV episode or a game. Yeah, I'm killing these fucking buffoons. Not even like just, you know, you've taken my curse or whatever the fuck. Or just I'm generally pissed. I'm just like, you don't deserve to live. You're the dumbest fuck I've ever met. I don't know why, but I had to know. I had to figure out why this is happening. Dude, if the guy's in your dreams, just assume he's a goddamn ghost. Destroy the ghost portal, Danny Phantom. So I turned on the computer, turned on the game, and selected robotic. Wait, you turned your computer off? Oh, yeah, you did. So you could shut off the game at any time. Hell, you could probably just take the disc out. I still thought that was wacky, playing as Robotnik, but anyways the title level appeared again, and this time it just said ... which I found really freaky. This time It was in some kind of hallway. Didn't really look like it's from any of the classic Sonic games, though it has a pixelated style. The floor was shiny and checkered. The walls were dark grayish purple with animated candle lights. Apostrophe S. A few dark bloodstains here and there, and there's a dark curtain hanging above the top side of the screen. Here, I put a Hill Act 1. No, I fucking didn't loop it. There you go. This time with the burn. And there's a dark red curtain hanging across the bottom part of the screen. Every 12 seconds or so, that red curtain sways very slowly, but when you're playing the game, you can barely see it move. Wow! Whoever the person I forgot the name of the person who made the thing. Well, Lazy Asshole didn't program the red curtain swaying, a detail everyone already forgot about the story. Because it's a boring story that you don't remember anything about, just all spooky Sonic. The music was oddly pleasant, a piano playing a rather sad yet peaceful song. But I knew better. This is the song that played in Hill Act 1, only it wasn't in reverse. Really, it was resourceful of a composer to make one song and then just flip it. Robotnik didn't look entirely nervous like Tails and Knuckle did, but he did have a suspicious look on his face, as if he was just a bit paranoid. He did a little animation where I just left him standing. He turned his head to the left and then to the right, at least twice, and then he shrugs at me, as if he had no idea where he was or what's going on, even though I was scared out of my mind about what was about to happen. I've been losing my mind. So I was thinking logic, fucking 1-800. About what was about to happen, I had Robotnik continue onward. He did his usual running animation. You know, you beat him at the end of a classic Sonic game and you chase him as we continue going through the hallway. Oh, that's the Mad Pants, you know, Robotnik faster than Sonic because you can't catch up to the guy that you couldn't kill for gameplay reasons. Then I stopped a long flight of stairs leading downward. Now I was nervous. Even Robotnik seemed unsure of himself. Though I pressed onward. Oh fuck! Not stairs! As I led Robotnik down the stairs, I noticed that the walls have gotten more darker, more reddish. Again. Only a few colors on lens for this one. The red torches are now an eerie blue. I'm sorry, I didn't know there were scarier shades of blue than the others. Then we landed onto another hallway. This one was longer than the last one, at least it felt like it. Then we headed down another flight of stairs. This one was much longer. It took at least 1 full minute. Well, I'm glad the actual game's shorter than this fucking story. It sounds like it would have taken 20 minutes to play the Spooky Sonic, the video game, and half of it's just walking down a goddamn repeating hallway forever. Then I heard the horrible Kefka laugh again, and the music slowly faded until it was quiet. As it did, the walls turned more dark red, and the torches were a black flame now. I don't think that's possible. When Robotnik landed on the third hallway, you could at least made them green. Like, come on, that's a real color fire can be. When Robotnik landed on the first hallway, I now noticed that he really looked creeped out, though he tried to hide it. I couldn't blame him. I was scared too. I hate exercise. That's why I play Sonic games. Suddenly, Sonic popped up right in front of Robotnik the same way he did Knuckles and also Tails, you lying bitch, and then red static. The red static lasted for about 15 seconds and then showed me a most unpleasant image. The image showed a hyper-realistic of Sonic. Yeah. Standing in the darkness where you can only see his face while his head and torso faded into black. When I say hyper-realistic, I meant that he looked so real you can touch the computer and he would be right there. Actually see the lines in his blue fur, as if you could actually feel the fur if you touched the screen. So I did. Then he made a weird meowing noise. He's a weird character. His face, oh god, he had the most horrifying smile I had ever seen. And that's saying something. That image with Sonic with black eyes at the beginning, that I've also been seeing the entire game, technically, That was scary. So saying this was a scary smile was fucking saying something. His eyes are white and black, and once again crying blood, which also looked hyper-realistic. Blood started dripping onto my keyboard. Forgot how the video went. And there's two small glowing red dots and this black eye staring right at me, as if staring into my mind. I already dreamed about him earlier, so presumably he's already in there. His grin was wide and demonic. It literally stretched to the sides of his face like a Cheshire cat. Capitalized, like it's like this, the character for the movie. There's a lot of other Cheshire cats. Except Sonic had fangs. Very sharp fangs, much like the Werehog stage. Oh fuck, we're bringing in Sonic Unleashed. That's why I played it earlier. Nah, just kidding. That would have made sense. Except more vicious looking, somewhat yellowish. From the look of it, he had stains of blood, small bits of flesh on his lips and fangs, as if he ate some animal, like the dead ones we saw earlier. I stared at that gruesome image for a good 30 seconds, never taking my eyes off of it. I felt as if he was actually looking at me, smiling at me, that face. It just took 10 seconds for itself to etch into my brain for good. Then the screen flickered with the red static 3 times, and then a third time. I heard that Heffe laugh, except this time sounded distorted, demonic even. It went back to the image again, except this time there was that text again that was messed up, but it pretty much one of the most horrifying things I looked at since I had this game. I have to do with the fucking stupid voice. I don't know. I'm gonna go with the Dream Sonic voice. I am God. No, fuck, Game Sonic voice, very different. I am God. It was then when I read that message while looking at fucking Sonic with black bleeding eyes. When it hit me, I realized there and then, this Sonic was a monster. A pure, evil, sadistic, all-powerful, nightmarish, demented, deranged, evil, fucked-up bastard piece of shit monster. And all of his victims, including Tails and Knuckles, I don't care about free Idols champion packs, god damn it. Including Tails, Knuckles, Robotnik, Kyle, Sally, Acorn. Wait, that's just a real name. Cream, Amy, Rouge, Shadow. I'm bringing in the entire extended universe. Are all just his little toys, and this game's the very gateway into his chaotic hell world nightmare. This is his chaotic nightmare world, and this is the very hell his victims are trapped in. Suddenly, in an actual split second, I screamed as Sonic lunged at the screen, screeching loudly with his mouth wide open to an unnatural length, revealing nothing but a spiraling abyss of pure blackness, before the red static came again, this time much louder and distorted, so loud that it hurt my ears. He yelled and grabbed my ears as the red static screeched for a good second. It didn't have a great singing voice. It could also stop now. Then it stopped and showed nothing but black screen. As I sat there staring at the black screen, one last text came up. Ready for round 2, Tom. Yes, son of a bitch. The Kefka laugh, now sounding more clear as if Sonic was right behind me, played again 3 times. I looked at that text in shock and confusion. Then it turned out, oh fuck, it was Sonic. No. I'm surprised by the fucking reverse hill act 1 every time. That's why you don't play the full version in reverse. Then I got booted back to the main menu, and this time the third save file had a TV image of Robotnik in the same tormented state as Tails and Knuckles. Robotnik's skin turned a dull gray, his mustache drooped and had blackened. His glasses broke, and blood coming from them, and a mere dead-like expression on his face. Like he was dead. I looked at Tails, Knuckles, Robotnik's, and I cried a bit. I pitied them for the agony they're going through. We're forever trapped within that game. We're forever tormented by that horrible hedgehog. And always will be. Then the computer shut itself off. I couldn't turn it back on, no matter what I did. Woo! I don't have to play the game anymore. I sat there for maybe 25 seconds. The stopwatch was operating by itself now. Horrified by what had just happened. Sonic is the very embodiment of evil. He tortures people who play his game in more ways than one, and then when he gets bored, he drags you into the game. Literally drags you to hell by Sam Raimi. Award winner 2009. Like, 43rd. Not as the 43rd. It was better than that. It's like 23rd best horror movie ever, according to Rotten Tomatoes for some reason. Where he can play with you always as his toy. I can't get this game out of my computer. I think it's stuck in there. But at least I managed to turn it back on now. After I sat there for 25 seconds, I heard this voice right behind me like a whisper. Try to keep this interesting for me, Tom. I turned around to see where the voice came from. What I saw made me scream like a little sissy bitch. Sitting on my bed, staring right at me. I wonder what the fuck it's gonna be. Oh, wow, a Sonic plushie, smiling with bloodstain under his eyes. What happened? Well, that was a fucking story. Glad I wasted 40 minutes reading that. Yeah. Well, that was a thrilling story, very interesting story. Not repetitive in the slightest. No point did this plot make not a lot of sense. Never happened. No melodrama at all. Great twist ending. Really just, an all-time classic for all the right reasons. And, yeah, I don't know what else to say about it. It's a bad story. I can read the remake, I can read the second story. Those are both a million years long. This original story isn't even that short. And fucking next two are a million years long, 1,000 million trillion billion zillion squillion years long, for no reason. It's scary Sonic. What else can you do with it? I don't even think I want to read them really. I forgot how long the original was. I thought it would take like 20 minutes, maybe 30. However, welcome. Thanks for. No, not thank you. Fuck you. Yeah, how dare you? You definitely made me read this. I didn't pick to read this. This is your fault. But anyways, this has been Creepypasta story time. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.